1, 1, 2. Check me out right here, yo.
First and 20, Raptors. Babalola in the shotgun, takes it, drops back to pass, goes deep.
The mic is loud.
Oh, it's caught! It's caught by Max Kimple for a touchdown! Raptors! Femi Babalola to Max Kimple. Big-time Raptors score. Gotta love it. G2 bar. Let's go. Raptors now up 19-9 here in Alcoa. Welcome in, Ravenwood Raptors football fans, to another edition of Ravenwood Raptors Football Weekly. I'm Paul Hickey with NoOffSeason.com. With me, as always, is Ravenwood head coach Will Hester. Coach, how you doing today?
Doing wonderful, Paul.
It's good to see you, as always.
Appreciate it.
Coming off a 27-17 win at Alcoa. Now, you guys, this was a business trip. It was a 3-hour bus ride out to Alcoa, getting a huge win, and Will Hester named Tennessee Titans Coach of the Week, presented by Whataburger. I think that's how you say it in the South, Whataburger. The Raptors will receive a grant from the Titans Foundation, so that's great. So we know that it's an honor. It's a big honor, so congratulations, and it's well-deserved because you guys played a phenomenal game. Clearly were very well prepped for coming in and trying to make up for last year's week 1 loss against Alcoa, coming in and doing that. So this moves you to 94-61 all time in your career at Ravenwood. But the one that you probably care most about is the fact that you're 1-0 on the season. Talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, clearly we did call it a business trip to go up there and kind of take care of business. You know, week 1s are hard. You don't know how you're going to respond. You don't know if there's going to be any jitters there. I think kind of the identity of us having an experienced team, as we talked about last week, kind of set us up for success. You know, to start the game with an 80-yard touchdown drive, you know, with a big third down conversion on the first third down of that drive, and then the rest of it kind of flowed from there. And to overcome 2 first-half turnovers, you know, I thought we played really, really well. I thought our defensive played excellent. And I thought our offense played, you know, adequate outside the 2 turnovers. And one of them was just kind of a freak accident of sorts. But I thought we played about as good as we probably could have played on the opening week.
Like you mentioned, controlling the clock for almost the entire first quarter on that opening drive, and absolutely the seniors that have gelled on this team for so long coming through, and even the juniors, the junior quarterbacks after having played last year. But one guy you didn't mention at all in last week's show, I don't think, is sophomore running back Caden Pace, coming out carrying the rock 14 times for 62 yards. He was pretty clutch in keeping the ball, the time of possession high for you guys. Talk about
there's been
Caden.
a Pace carrying the rock for Ravenwood football for a long time. And, you know, Caden is kind of the last run of the Pace boys. Kind of burst on the scene last year during playoff time, got some run during the playoffs last year as a freshman on the varsity. And we've got several great running backs. We have the senior in the group and Will Harry. Then we've got Davis Dolan, who's the junior in the group, and Caden, who's the sophomore in the group. And those 3 guys are all going to kind of get their touches throughout the year. And, you know, we expect big things out of all of them. It just happened to kind of be Caden's night on Friday.
Absolutely. He was very impressive, and also very impressive in the run game. Maverick Chance, 15 carries for 73 yards, and of course 3 rushing TDs. I mean, great work not only by Maverick, who also threw the ball 4 times, completed 2 of the passes for 62 yards, but also, I mean, the blocking scheme to open up the holes for him. I noticed that a couple defenders coming in from the secondary in on offense to lead the way, blocking for Maverick on a lot of those touchdown runs. Was the run game to control the clock part of the strategy to come into Alcoa and just kind of make sure that you guys could control the ball and control the game flow?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was more about controlling the line of scrimmage, right? You know, it just so happened that we are also able to control the clock in there. And, you know, when the other team doesn't have the ball, they can't score the ball. Well, I mean, unless we drop it and they run it back in, which we did. But, you know, we have a little package, like you mentioned, where those defensive guys come in short yardage. And when you're a 2-platoon team like we are, sometimes you get an offense versus defense mentality, and we try to find ways to kind of keep that from happening and crossing those guys over in specialty situations. It's kind of given us that opportunity. But all in all, I think you're right. I think we played well up front. We started 5 seniors on the offensive line on Friday, that first game out, and so I think the leadership of those guys and kind of the desire of them to kind of prove a point that we can run the football as good as we can throw the football. Because I think sometimes we kind of get the big play rap, right? That we're able to, whether it is to throw it to Donovan or Ben or Max over the top of the defense and score from afar, if you will. I think the offensive line took it as a challenge to be able to run it versus stout Alcoa defense.
Very well executed, setting up the pass by running the ball. And speaking of the passing game, Femi Babalola, 3 for 6, 101 yards and a touchdown. Of course, the 52-yarder to Donovan Starr at the end of the first half was pretty exciting. But the 55-yard TD to Max Kimple to kind of kick off the second half was very clutch. Talk about that.
Yeah, so we had taken the lead 13-9 off an amazing special teams play to start the half, tackle them inside the 5-yard line on the kickoff and getting a stop there. Great return by Cy Longley. She set up a short touchdown to take the lead. And then, I think it was either our next possession or one right after that to be able to get the ball about midfield. We were kind of moving it pretty easily, running it, get a penalty, and now we have like a 1st and 15, 1st and 20. And we had thought that, matter of fact, the conversation at the half was to Max that, hey, you're going to have an opportunity to win us this football game, and your number is going to get called, and it did. And him being kind of along with Ben Hubbard, but being the senior leader on that offensive receiving core, made a huge play for us. Great route, excellent adjustment to the ball, and then Femi threw a dime in there, and he kind of walked in from 55 yards out, which kind of gave us a little breathing room, put us up 2 scores.
Absolutely, and that wasn't the only big play that Kimple made. There was a reverse end around flea flicker where Maverick hit Max again. The ball got tipped, and then great concentration by Max Kimple to bring the ball in, setting up another Maverick chance rushing touchdown, or should I say Ravenwood Raptors offense rushing touchdown, because it's a team effort there. Maverick, of course, getting the third in the stat column, but phenomenal game by Kimple for sure. Now, you guys also did a great job not getting too many penalties. So 4 penalties for 35 yards. Alcoa, however, 7 penalties for 57 yards. And then you mentioned the defense already, and we need to give them credit because they played a heck of a game. Tackles for losses, 5 tackles for 11 yards of losses for you guys, and 3 on the other side of the ball for Alcoa for only 8 yards of losses. Those little things add up, the penalties and the TFLs. Talk about the defense a little more.
Those are kind of the hidden yards, right? And, first game, to only come out of the first game with 4 penalties, I think is, a pretty monumental effort. I would say, I can't remember a game as the first game of the year where we've had a game with just 4 penalties in it. So a very clean game. I think that comes to playing a lot of older guys, a lot of experienced guys. The moment wasn't too big for them. There wasn't a lot of jitters out there, you could tell. But, they did a good job of playing smart and clean. And then defensively, to take the ball away twice, right? So, we turned the ball over on offense twice, but we took it away twice. So it kind of levels out on the turnover margin there. But there were opportunities where they could have kind of let Alcoa in, like the defensive stand before the end of the first half to hold them to a field goal. At that point, it was, 6-6. They held them to a field goal when they got inside the 10-yard line right there, and kind of gave us an opportunity to stay close.
Yeah, the front 7 did an amazing job, and then the defensive backfield as well. Jalen Pollard, I think, had 7 or 8 tackles, solo tackles, and Jaden Smitherman breaking up a huge bomb in the end zone that would have gone for a touchdown had he and his defensive backfield mates not been there. So just a great overall effort on both sides of the ball. Coach, anything else you want to say about the Alcoa game before I segue into Cane Ridge and what's happening this Friday?
That's water under the bridge now. We're 1-0. Obviously, it's a good win. That was the first loss for Alcoa in the opening game since 2006. And You were there. It was a good atmosphere, good experience, small town feel. The whole town kind of comes out. But proud of the following that we had. We had a lot of cowbells in the stands, a lot of raucous fans on the Ravenwood side that made the trip too. So we're appreciative of that.
Yeah, thank you to all of you, Ravenwood Raptors, the fan base, the Red Zone, the parents, the families, everyone out there who supported us, whether you were at Alcoa with Coach and I, or whether you were watching on the live stream at ravenwood.football, which you can check out Cane Ridge this Friday at 7 p.m. Central Time on the live stream. Get it at ravenwood.football. But here we go, Cane Ridge, Coach. That's what you're focused on right now. I don't know anything about Cane Ridge because I tried to do my research on them and there wasn't much that I could find other than the fact that they lost 50-0 against Mount Juliet at home in week 1. Is that true?
That is a factual statement. They have ripped their logo off of the Colorado Rockies, so you'll recognize that when you see it. But Cane Ridge is a team that's played for state championships. A lot of history between Ravenwood and Cane Ridge. A lot of playoff games being played. Some won by Ravenwood, some won by Cane Ridge. So to go over there, another business trip of sorts, but a little, going from 3 hours to 14 minutes. So, but excited about the opportunity. Anytime we get to tee it up and go play, and just a chance to go 1-0 this week, and kind of the motivation this week is that we're on a climb, right? You think about a mountain climber, and they make all this preparation, planning for these great climbs, and then when you get on the side of the mountain, you're going to have to do something in the moment to make a decision to either make the climb successful or fail. And so we kind of look at like that on our season, right? We make lots of preparation, but you got to be able to adapt and adjust in the moment. And we're just continuing on our climb. We're climbing this week.
Coach Will Hester, Tennessee Titans High School Football Coach of the Week. Congratulations on a great win at Alcoa. Fully prepped and ready to go for Cane Ridge this Friday night. Check it out at ravenwood.football at 7 p.m. Central Time. I'm Paul Hickey with nooffseason.com. I just want to say thanks again to everyone out there, Raptors Red Zone, all the Ravenwood football fans, families. Thanks for your support. Coach, anything else you want to say?
I heard that about 150, 200 people were streaming the game last Friday, so maybe we can double that this week.
Let's double it. Let's go. Before we get home, we have one more away game. Cane Ridge. Is that right? One more away game before our first home game?
Before the first home
Tell
game.
them when the first home game is, Coach.
The first home game would be the following Friday night, September 6th.
September 6th sounds right.
Something like that. Senior night. So we'll honor our seniors, but Blackman comes to town. And I expect the Ravenwood Raptor fan base, the Ravenwood Nation, to be out in full force.
I think Coach nailed it there. He's focused on one game at a time. Threw him a curveball with when's the first home game? Friday, September 6th. But first, we got business to take care of at Cane Ridge. We hope to see all of you either at the game in Antioch or on the live stream at ravenwood.football. Thanks again, everybody. Have a great day. Good blocking here. Babalola goes deep, has a lot of time looking for Star. Get Star, big time dime from Femi Babalola to Donovan Star down to the 38-yard line of the Tornadoes. And we got a little something going here, Raptors fans. Let's get hype back in Brentwood, everybody.